Good morning, everybody. What a good day to be alive. I'm talking about a good day in the midst of everything that's going on. This is a very, very good day because the Lord made it. And one reason I want to say it's a good day is because we have an opportunity to change. Hey, Ronald Taylor. Hey, Ronald, your name gonna get famous. I'm playing. I don't know that, Ronald. Anyway, well, it's out there now. Anyway, it's a good day because we get a chance to prove and show our communities that we will change. And I say, before I get into, I'm going to Genesis, the 11th chapter. What if you had company coming like a long time ago, and the company, it's coming from a long place and you really want to do your best to impress them. What if it's somebody you met and you want to, excuse me for 1 minute, Matthew, I can hear that. You wanted to dress up and be nice and fix yourself up and get prepared to let them know that you are really ready to receive them. And I was thinking this morning, what if we want the changes in our atmosphere all over the world for it to change, but we have not changed. We're looking for solutions to stop it. But what if we did some tangible changing, like actually picking up the paper off the ground? Actually cleaning up areas that we've neglected and allowed to just become a way of life. What if Atlanta, Georgia would just say, we're getting ready to sweep every city, every street. And let's show God that this is your world. And if this is what it takes to get you to give us another opportunity to enjoy your house. We have left God's house so not only, I'm not even talking about the spirit, man. I'm talking about what we can do physically. We have left this place in such a mess. God has said, why do you want me to come and do something different? And you have not done anything different. Why you want me to change things? Perhaps it could be that, I'm just thinking, these are some things we can really, really do. It's like, again, pick up the paper, clean up the areas, trim the trees, make it look like you welcoming God to a place because you want something different, rather than to ask him to come back to the same house. He said, no, I don't watch y'all do this for thousands of years. Y'all clean that place up. And then we can get some of these germs out of here. Because something is in the atmosphere. And I ain't so sure. All God has to do is just remove himself from the place and then let us get the consequences of our own filth. I'm just saying. Now, I'm human like everybody else. We're looking for a solution. But you know what? The greatest thing that I can say, because I was before God this morning, and I was like, do I pray? I know we're praying, or we're saying we praying, and I'm sure we are saying something to God about remove this cup, remove this thing from us. But what's more important than God than anything on earth is for man to know what he said. So I'm praying even greater than the atmosphere being cleansed or giving us a solution to why we're in this shape. I'm praying that the most important thing, to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you the truth, is to get to know this word. And I'm not talking about religiously. Hold on for 1 second. I got things going on in this house. Hey, Philip, can you pass me a Kleenex, please? Yeah, I got some over there by the desk. The most important thing is to get educated in the Word of God because it's not religious. It is not a religious book. All right, I'm going to take you through some things that, thank you. I'm going to take it. Excuse me, y'all. My nose itching. Sorry, my nose is itching. Philip, come here and look at me. Come look at me. I'm sorry, y'all. Got to get things straight. I'm straight. Look at my face. I'm straight. Okay. Hey, Willie Barr and Linda Williams. And hey, Miss Dengay. I know you got a married name, but anyway. The most important thing above, what can we do this day instead of looking at the dread of what's happening? Number one, let's write letters or do whatever we can to tell our supervisors of our cities, let's clean up and see if maybe we clean and show God that we will take care of what he has given us, because we have not. We want him to come back. You know how you go home and leave your children in charge to do things and you come back and it's the same way? No, in order for us to get some cleansing in some areas, which will be good for us, that we can do, that we know we can do, these are some things we can do. We can clean up. We can pick up some of this trash. We can. I come downtown Atlanta, and some areas I understand now why they got that home association fee, because that's to bring some type of discipline. So we can do some things, and even in our homes, we can get better in our homes to show God that we're not gonna just sit around and wait on you to come back and change, because it looks as if maybe it's something that we can do, we can tangibly do, so that we can get some results that will affect everybody. Because when we make a decision to go against God, it affects everybody. So maybe if we all get together and say, you know what, house clean over here, then everybody just, put a sign and say, this place is clean. My yard is clean, my house is clean, my refrigerator is clean, everything that we have. Maybe if we start doing something like that, maybe we can get this thing lifted. Maybe we can show God that we're serious about what he has given us and we have neglected or did not take care of. Too busy doing our own thing and then just leaving the things that he said, I'm telling you. You're going to have to show me some signs that, it's like, you got to show me that you're changing. You got to give me some evidence that I know you speak it with your mouth and you say what you will do, but how about just kind of doing some of them neighborly things? Cut the vines off your fence. Make your yard look manicured. Who knows? Maybe your house. That's just me being a human being, saying at least we can do something to show God. At least we can give him some type of offering. We offer you a clean place. We offer you a clean bathroom. I don't know. That's me. That's what I believe. That's what I'll do. All right. I wrote some things down as it came to me this morning. I am going into the wonderful knowledge of God through the book of Genesis. And chapter 11 is awesome. I'm going to lead you up to where I am and how God gave it to me. All right, in the book of, before I get to Genesis, I like to kind of paint a picture of how my thought pattern has been since yesterday. In the book of Zechariah, it talks about sheep being scattered. In the book of Revelations, it talks about when Jesus gave John the letters to the churches. So here's your report card. And he went to a church and said, you got a church, this church right here, they got a name that they're good. He said, but you're dead. But even in the midst of a dead church, you still got some people in there that said, you know what? I'm going to get in this word. And if I have to leave this place, if I got to be by myself or they put me out, I am going to read this word. And then you might go to the leaders and say, can we please just, get to know God's word, because it's not saying what you're saying. And Jesus said, I'm going to gather those. I got some whose garments are not stained or soiled or something wrong with it. Then you might have put them out. Or you might have told the church to disassociate yourself with them. He said, but I'm getting them, they're mine. So even if you feel like you're in a place and you're alone and you got to stand firmly on the word by yourself, You are not by yourself. I'm telling you, people are going, and it's sad that people have to be scattered in order to say, I want to hear from God. I got to stay on the internet because it sounds like these folk teaching something. I'm not getting where where my mama took me all my life. We got to wake up and start getting real. One thing we're not real. We still doing everything we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, and we still want God to come and fix this thing. It's certain doctors just won't touch you. I went to a doctor. He said, you know what, until you lose some of that weight, I'm not working on your knee. And then you got another doctor that said, well, come on, I'll do it. Now, some doctors say, I'm looking beyond what you want. I want this thing to last. And then for you to be this all this surgery that I know will work. He said, you got to drop some of that weight. And I dropped that weight, shocked that doctor. And then I forgot about my knee and then fell and gained that weight back. I hate it. But I'm doing something different. Hopefully, over time, I'll see some change again. But anyway, I think that God has sent out the sheep that are being scattered. And you're scattered because you pursuing who I am, regardless of your traditions and how long you've been in a particular organization. But you said, I'm going after this word. And maybe somebody, this season of your life, you decided to really take God's word serious because it's not religious. All right, let me tell you why. I'm finna lead you up into chapter 11, which is an awesome book. All right, I'm going to start back. I'm going to bring you up to the 11th chapter. God, Adam. When God made Adam, Adam was introduced to God's world. Beautiful. The Bible talks about the crystal and the different jewels and the trees and everything shaped up the way God wanted to look today. Adam saw some things, and Adam was close to God. And anytime you're close to somebody who knows everything, you kind of rub off on you. So Adam being close to God, knowing God's mind, talking to God, walking with God, God doing things for him, didn't have to go look for no wife. He said, I got that. Everything Adam needed, God just pulled it. Either he made it for him or he pulled it out of him. And he pulled out of him a woman and said, I'm giving you this, and I don't want you to be by yourself because you've named everything, you've done everything. And Adam was not a lazy man, because in being in the presence of God, one thing he does not have lazy employees. It's first man Adam. We're going to get on down to the 11th chapter. I'm going to try to make it as easy. And then if I say anything religious, you check me on that. Because what he said to one, he said, I said to all. I speak it in every language. I speak it to the child that has a hydrocephalic head. I speak it to the child that with cerebral palsy. I speak it to the doctors. When you speak God's word, it is for everybody. That's why it cannot be private interpreted. Cannot be a private interpretation. It has to be something that anybody can eat anytime they want to eat. It's got to be just like that. It's got to be something that's educating the mind to make the mind fit. So let's think about Adam being close to God, not a lazy man. Anybody name every animal on earth not lazy. Just get that. You already know that. Because you got to identify them. And you can't say, I've already named that one. What's your name? No, Adam God, he was close to God. So the closest, when we get with God, there is nothing lacking. There's no gaps in between. Your needs will be met. Your thoughts would line up. You would think like God because you're close to him. That's why I'm saying get into his word. And then the Lord showed me, he said, coming on down to Adam. Then God said, we got Adam and Eve. Got to put y'all out of here because you didn't follow the race. So one thing, if you're going to hang with me, you got to do what I said. I'm going to have to take you on out of here, and then I'm going to put some angels out here with some fire, with some swords, and say, don't come back in here. You ate what? All you had to do is what I said. If you are going to be in my presence, you must obey. And listen to what I say, because what I say is easy. So then Adam and Eve got smart enough to be quiet, and then they gave us Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel came along, and God gave them order in how to do things, showed them, as a good teacher would, Stayed after school with him, did whatever he had to do to show them how he want things done. Okay, you're going to be the one that's going to work on the farming part, and you're going to take care of the cattle. Easy stuff. Then one of them did exactly what God said, and the other one said, I know you wanted a certain kind of way, but here you go. I'm done. God said, no, Cain can't take it like that. And Cain was like, I don't feel like doing that stuff over. Look at old Abel. Can't stand you. I will get you. I know God looking, but I'm going to get you. Anyway, that's what we do to people when they do it right and we don't do it right. We find some way, I'm going to discredit that person. I'm going to do what I got to do to let them know that I can't stand you. But God is saying, but his work was acceptable only because he did it. Like I said, I told you to seek me first, and he did. And you just thought you could just bring me something in any order and think I'm going to take it like that. He said, I got a whole world I'm trying to shape. And y'all my first, what's the word, protege. You're my first sample of what I want man to live by. I made you, man. But Cain said, no, I'm good. Yeah, but I tell you one thing, your punishment is a little bit too heavy. And God said, you know what? I'll let you live. You still ain't no good. Cain walked away from God, had sons and grandsons, and then he had a son that killed another man just like him. God said, I told you, even if I don't let nobody kill you, you still ain't worth nothing. You alive, but your work and you are dead. But people have followed the plan of Cain since then. And God was like, one thing about the people that was born around that time, God told Adam and Eve, give me another child. And they did. And one of Adam's grandchildren was so good, and God said, either God, take you, walk with me. Come walk with me. Then the world was producing itself, and you got Cain's generation that won't follow God, producing stuff, going in there, painting people's houses. This is stuff that God is saying, I ain't told y'all do nothing deep. All this spooky stuff like y'all done told people to just sit up and just worship God like this. I mean, if you do that on your own time or in a particular place. He said, but just stop making me look like that's what I'm all about and that's all it is to me. Like I'm spooky or something. How about when you go up under the house and under crawl space that you don't switch stuff up so you can come back because you got the people under the house wondering what's going on. You know you went up under there. Like or maybe under somebody's hood of a car and you cut something or you took something to loose because you got to make you some money. You got to make them the folk that's ignorant of what you know, and then you go in there. God said, those are the type of things I'm watching. He said, I'm a part of man. I'm not religious. Y'all make me religious. Where you got to put on certain clothes and got to look all certain kind of way. He said, what kind of sense it does? Why would you think I made you and gave you an example of Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve with something to do, and then all you think I want is somebody to sit up and wait on me to come back and you haven't done anything? You're wicked, unprofitable generation of people, whoever, or individual. So we got Cain and Abel. So God is saying, they still close to me. They are not that far from me. Still kind of in my realm of Adam and Eve. They still got some real stuff. Some real, because they used to the goodness of what I had because they saw it first. So mentally, they understand what it's like to be around me because they saw it. So I'm still close to them. They're still close to me. So we got Cain who has sinned, Abel who is dead. Now we got a generation of people that's going to keep on coming until we get to this man called Noah. Now, before the flood, the Bible says the people were a lot of them, and they were renowned. They had the looks, they had the talent, they had the smarts, they had everything because they were close to Adam who saw everything. So if your parents was accustomed to being around the best, then the children that they had, they don't want nothing less. So God had this beautiful world. No blemishes in the skin, hair all healthy, body all built, magazine fit. He said, that's what the world looked like. It looked like it ought to be that these people right here look so good until that's just the way they were. Because they had been around me. And you didn't have, you lived a long time. What was living 900 years? You were healthy, you were living, you were just God's, you looked like a prize. If God was to show us what the world looked like before Noah came, that was a good looking place. And God said, I don't like it. You have done everything. You got the looks. You got the smarts. You don't build half-done houses. You know what? Cain got his folk and took some pipes and knew how to make organs. He said, you got all of that because you've been close to me, but you're walking further and further from me. And the further you get from me, the more you're going to try to build something that a copy or imitation of life. But y'all close to me. He said, but I don't like your attitude and I don't like the way you fill this earth up with violence. You're pretty, you're smart, you're talented, your record sales, everything looking good. He said, but it's not like what I want. He said, I find me somebody. He said, I found one man in his family that I'm going to use to repopulate this earth. And all of what we call Hollywood went down. All of what we call the best in life is under the sea, somewhere floating in the water. But guess what? If them folk didn't get it together between then and now, they're gonna be in that graduation line too. Now I don't know where you got to spend the rest of your life, but you're gonna see some pretty folk, and a lot of them are gonna be from the beginning. That's only if something didn't happen when Jesus went down into that grave. I don't know what he did. All I know is God said, "I'm folk. When you that close to me, you can't help but have it together." But moving on, now we got Noah. Noah being a man that God used, and he was an old man compared to us. 500 years, stayed on that ship, 600 years. Then Noah had his wife and his 3 sons, and God said, let me use y'all to start this thing over. Noah did what God told him to do. He didn't have to get no peanuts. He said, go out there and get you some snacks and get you some food, and you just bring that. Get your family. I got your other passengers lined up so they can get on there. Y'all be still and let the earth do what it's got to do, because I'm finna flood all these folks that think they're cute enough to and well known enough and think they're going to get to me like that. And he says, not going to happen. Because I told you, I told Saul, he said, go out there and kill everything. Saul to me, I say the king, I say the pretty folks. I like the pretty students. I like the pretty, everybody want to be like the pretty people. God said, yeah, I got some pretty folk out there. But when I say kill everything, I mean everything. You know, if you got to know me, you'll understand what the world looked like. And I'll show you what I did to folk who thought they could be selected because they looked like they should be selected. God said, you're going down. But anyway, start back with Noah. Noah got his 3 sons. They followed God's instruction. They had to be still about a year. By the time he got off that ark, they walk into a place. And God said, let me give you some instructions, because you will never live in this world without instructions. So let me instruct you. So God instructed them, told them what they could do and what they cannot do. You got my word, they understood God. He said, now go and replenish the earth. Go do what I said do. He said, if your neighbor cow get out, hurt one of your children, kill the cow. If you go back in the house and the cow come back out and the neighbor let him do it again, kill the man and the cow. I'm not going to play. Take care of my people. Always seek me first. Get my instructions first and then go about your day. Take the time to get to know me daily. I'm serving fresh bread daily. When you walk with me daily, you will get to know me. If you draw close to me, I'll draw close to you, and I'll show you things ain't nobody else showed you. That rhymed, didn't it? But anyway, what the word is saying is that the closer you are to me, the more I'll show you in my word, and I'll show you how easy I am to get along with. So now we've come down from Adam, understanding these people have been around God, so they do quality work. They're used to it. The further we get from God, the more we try to copy him without him. He said, you're living like Cain, and your life ain't about nothing. So they get off the ark, and they began to fill the earth as God said. Fill the earth so much until God said, I got chapter 10. That's where we are. Chapter 10 tells us Keep your eyes on chapter 10. Whatever you do, stay with chapter 10 because this is going to be the content of the book, the content of how I'm going to bring things to pass. Watch this. So we got chapter 10, and I think I am on, I'm on chapter 11. So in chapter 10, God shows the generations of the continents or the people. He gave 3 sons. You got your sons that are going to be moving out to the west, your European nation. You got your son that's going to be populating the south, and it's that area where it's around the equator. You got that area. Then you got that population that's going to be on the east, and that's what I want you to keep your eyes. It's not that big, but there's a lot going on in there, and it's going to really be something to keep your eyes on. Keep your eyes over here in the east. Why is it the east? Because that's where I got started. That's where the Garden of Eden is. It's on the east side. And who's on the north? God is. God's on the north side. Have I said anything religious? No, I have not. I just told you location. And now we're finna talk about the people that's getting ready to populate these places. So in Genesis 10, you're starting over. God said, get the fact, I'm not taking you because you're cute. So we drown that. So now I'm giving you a chance to start over. So I got these 3 boys. And I'm going to take these songs, and let me tell y'all something so you won't get confused for the rest of your life. You all related. Get it together. You are all related. So we don't have to fuss about that. Nobody's better than anybody else. You all have an assignment. You're going to look different, but you're related. Understanding that your looks will have a lot to do with your location is. But so let's go and see how God unfolds this. All right, the screen is showing. He showed you the cast. He showed you the cast by showing you the generation or the genealogy of Noah. Now, Noah, let me tell y'all something that I found out. Now, don't hold your horses, because I'm getting ready to tell you something. I'll tell you then. All right, let me see, because I took these notes. I want to make sure I went over everything. All right. Man was close to God. Okay, I think I did everything. All right, let's get into the 11th chapter of where I was going. I had to build that lesson before I got there. All right. And the whole earth was one language. Everybody that was on that flood was speaking the same thing that Noah spoke. Looking good, communication was good. Now we still got one person still in his family, and they had children, and they had one language. So now we're taking chapter 10, which is the you know how a movie started, the credits. So the credit didn't wait at the end. It showed you at the beginning who's playing these parts. So let's get ready to go to the movie, because now God is getting ready to say, open the curtain. Wow. So the curtain again is open, and we are in Genesis 11. Starting off, and the whole earth was of one language and one speech. People that's smarter than me, they said it was the Hebrew language. Why? Because they said when God was using those names, they are Hebrew names. If you look at the names of Noah, so I'll agree with them because they said it, but the words said one language. So I'm smart enough to listen to other people because I need other people. And the whole earth was one language and one speech. What's the difference between a language and of one speech? What's the difference between the language and a speech? In other words, you know how we can be in a neighborhood and we might say, girl, that's a bad stove. Ooh, that's a bad car. And then you go in another neighborhood and they're insulted by that because you said something that they can't read in between, because when you call something bad, that's really putting it down. But in our speech over here, we got the way we communicate is we got our own way of communicating. But we speak the same language, but we have a different speech. But everybody was of one language and of one speech. So that in other words, communication was clear. One speech. We spoke it, we pronounced it alike, and we knew what's the words called? You know how you come from one country to another country, and then you got to get used to it, because that word meant something else from where I'm from, but Anyway, one speech, one definition. The Webster's dictionary would have just had to have a few defined words because we all was saying the same thing. And the whole earth was of one language and one speech. These are the descendants of Noah, and Noah is still alive. But I'm going to tell y'all when he died. And the whole earth was one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed, now they're on the east side, they still close to the Garden of Eden in that area. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. They scooted on over there, and I'm going to tell you, I went back to the 10th chapter to see if I can find anybody named Shinar. I told you, the cast is in the 10th chapter. The key players are in the 10th chapter, and I found one of Noah's great-great-grandchildren named Shinar. I underlined it in my online on my phone, but I'm using my phone to do this thing. And I want to show you that when we go back into, when we start reading, we're going to find out that these people are coming from who God said was on whose plan. These are the featured plans. So Shinar was one of them boys that was one of Noah's grandchildren. I had to go back. Y'all look it up, and if you see it, tell somebody, because I know it's in there. But I didn't highlight it in my Bible. I'm reading from a real Bible with pages. All right, so they moved on from the east, close. Now we're moving away from God. Now remember what God said. He said, I can still use man. He said, I know they're wicked from their youth. He said, I ain't gonna drown them no more. I'm gonna get my plan done. I'm gonna go and use them. I know how to use them. God said, I got a plan. Okay, let's watch this. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, we're walking away, got to get a little bit close, getting away a little bit further from God now, that they found a plain, they found some flat land in the land of Shinar, which I think is called Babylon, and we're going to talk about that, because if you go online, they're going to tell you that's Babylon, and we're going to find out about that. And they dwelt there. They moved a little way, a ways from God. All in God's plan. God said, I know these folks. I'm still going to use them. Strategically watching them. I know they up to something, but go ahead. And they said one to another in the same language, in the same speech, go to, let us make brick. Brick. Who taught these folk how to make brick? The one who saw gold. The one who saw God do everything. The one who built an ark, because he was not, I told you, God does not have lazy employees. Anybody he used, you better know that they're getting some work done. So they understood how to do a lot of things because they had been close to God. So they said, and they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. So they're going to make some good bricks, not them cheap ones. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. So now, these brick masons, these folks said brick is what's going to last. We know why. We've been around God. We know what's good. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower. These were smart folk. Whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. They knew the earth was bigger than where they were. They said, we're going to stop right here. We got our architect. We're going to take the brick. We're going to build it up, and we're going to do this thing. They were planning. And they would let us make brick. These folk weren't just talking about it. They was like, God, let there be light. And bricks were made. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower. God said, okay, look like y'all been busy. And somebody said they ain't really do what they thought about it, but I'm going to say what I see the word said. Which the children of men builded. God said they builded. Building means past tense. They were doing it. They had some tangible evidence. Them folk were not lazy people. They had been around God. They knew about their ancestors drowning. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one. Okay, they communicating. They talking. But they ain't talking about nothing. And they have all one language. And this they began to do. God said they done spoke it and they bring it to pass. Nothing religious. And now nothing will be restrained from them. He said, if I let these folks keep on speaking the same language, ain't nothing gonna be restrained from them, because they gonna whatever they concoct in their mind, they gonna speak it and make it happen, which they have imagined to do. He said they thought about it and they bringing it to pass. Them guys got together, called a board meeting, and let us build this tower, and we're gonna build it all the way up to heaven. And let's get this done. Now somebody said, I don't like talking about what somebody said. I think that's a waste of time. They said, go to. God said, okay, they said go to. That's what they said. And they start off there. They said that in the third verse. Go to and let us make brick. Then now God said, now let me say go to. Go to, let us go down. Look at God. You go to, let us make brick. God said, go to, let us go down. And they'll confound their language. He said, look, stop them folk from talking. They go to, let us go down, and they'll confound their language. And God is like, I ain't got to kill them. I'm telling you right now, I don't kill y'all. I'm going to do the simple thing. Language, operate. And the language said, okay, go to, let us go down, and they'll confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. God said, I ain't got to kill you. I'm in charge. You go say, you think you said, bring me a brick, and they bring you a candle. What? Bring me the model. And then they run to get a lamp. And they looking at you like, you crazy. No, you crazy. Because of the language, God said, all I got to do is kind of language. Let there be confuse them. And the voice of the Lord and whatever the angels had to do to get them folk all confused with each other. And he says, so the Lord wait a minute, go to, they said go to, God said, go to, let us go down, and they'll confound their language, and they may not understand one another's speech. God suggested they talking like one, confuse that thing, because they don't know what they're doing. I love them so much. So the Lord scattered them abroad. He said, okay, now I had a plan. I told you, y'all wicked, but I'm going to get some out of y'all wicked folk. So the Lord scattered, because how do you define them being wicked? Because they didn't seek God first. Anytime you go plunge into something that you don't seek God first, you're getting the spirit of Cain on you. God said, you ain't asking me, should you do this? You moved a little far from me. You went to this, a little bit, over from the east side. Now you're going closer to the west side. And he said, so the Lord scattered them, God's plan, abroad from there upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. I can't hardly see. I got to pick this up. And they left off to build a city. God's plan. I'm going to take old man and I'm going to get the good out of him, because I got a plan. I got one plan on my mind. I want to redeem man back to me. But I got a plan. They thought they were going to stop right here. I said, no, that ain't going to happen. I'm still in charge. I'm still God. Therefore is the name of it called Babel. That city where they thought, where they were. Because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from there did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. God said, now they talking like, you know how babies talk about the Babel. You don't understand what they're saying. You know how the babies just get here and he trying to speak and God is babbling. You don't know what he said. And then some parents, they teach their kid, you want your baba? The baby, if he can say, mama, give me baba, he can say, mama, you say you want your bottle. And the baby said, bottle. He'll say whatever you say. But if you say baba, give mama that. Anyway, they can speak whatever we speak. Parker, you too loud. All right, he said, I got to get these folk across the earth. I got a plan. These are the generations. God said, there we go. Shem, your folk. Okay. These are the generation of Shem. My grandbaby said sorry for being loud. She was being sweet. Now Noah is still alive. Now I don't know if Noah's still on the east side, but his son moved to the closer to, a little bit further away from it. So they're in the city of, they're in Shinar, which is now Babel. And God said, let me tell you who these folks in there that were doing that. He said, these are, the generations of Shem. So I'm going to use this boy named Shem. Shem was 100 years old and Noah was still living. Mm-hmm. And at 100 years old, he begat Arphaxad. Now you know me and these names. 2 years after the flood. So he had a son 2 years after the flood. And the word said he was 100 years old at this time. Watch this math in here. And Shem lived and begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. Shem did. Then he lived 500 years. Noah's still alive. This is his grandchildren. Y'all write your granddaddy now, so they write Noah. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Selah. And then Noah grandchildren still living. Y'all wrote your granddaddy, write your granddaddy. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Selah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Selah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Selah lived after he begat Elber. Somebody said that's what I ain't gonna say what nobody said. When we get there, we'll say what it is. 403 years and begat sons and daughters. Y'all write your granddaddy now. Don't y'all forget about Noah. Still alive. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. And Eber, still Noah grandchildren. Did y'all call your granddaddy? Call Noah. Let him know y'all doing all right. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. These Noah grandchildren. He's still alive. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. So they populated. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Serug lived after he begat Serug and 207 years and begat sons and daughters. Noah family doing exactly what God said. That these came from one of Noah's sons, Shem. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. Still having no baby. Noah still living. Y'all, how Shem doing? They go, ooh, Sean, and Shem is growing, his children. And Nahor lived 920 years and begat Terah. God got a plan. And begat Terah 119 years, and he begat sons and daughters. You didn't mention all these folk, just the key players. All right. Now Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram. Look at God. Told you. He said, y'all don't want to act right, but I got a plan. If it take all these years to get my plan, and Noah is still alive. Somebody called Noah. Noah, can you hear? And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram. We're getting close. Nahor and Haran begat Lot. These names getting familiar, right? And Haran died before his father, Terah, in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldeans. We get real close to where we got to go for a long time. And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, or Milcah, the daughter of Haram, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarah, now we're getting real close to the, told y'all this thing good, now Sarah was barren, means she couldn't have no babies. So that means Abram married her and she couldn't have no baby. Look at God. And Noah is still alive. She had no child. And Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haram, his son's son, and Sarah, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from they moving, to the Chaldeans, to go into the land of Canaan, that boy, that Ham's son, going a little bit deep over there into Africa, and went into the land of Canaan. I told you that 10th chapter telling y'all who these people are. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran, or Haran. Noah's still alive. How do I know that? Because I did the math and I read, and they said not a few people read in depth like that. Noah and Abraham lived together on the same earth 39 years. God had this thing planned, and I was just imagining. The grandfather, the great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of Noah, of Abraham, Noah, on the same earth for 39 years. Do the math. Go check the word out. But just imagine talking to Noah and understanding what he went through. God didn't say anything else. It's just the math that did it. Because I kept saying, okay, now, if he had Shem at this age and Abraham was born at this age, and I did the subtraction, and that's just kind of how I think. But the beauty of it is, I don't know, it was beautiful to me, just the thought of both of them guys being together. Nobody ever told me, but I saw it. That's why I said when you get close to the word, you start doing the details of God's word. He said, I'll show you things. But ain't nobody ever showed you, and I said it. Oh, that ain't important. Well, it's important to moi. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to work. This word is better than death. It is better to get to know God now than to seek God for life without his word. I love y'all. I will be back.